everyone's doing great. It is Thursday, August 22nd, and I'm back in Atlanta. I'm back. Spent a few days in Orlando, Florida, and just as hot and humid as it is in Atlanta. So anyway, I'm back, and what I wanted to discuss tonight, as I was in Orlando, it got me thinking of, as the title says, A Tale of Two Mothers. What do I mean by that? Caylee Anthony, gone way, way too soon. Sebastian Rogers, missing. So let's discuss each one of these. And as we talk about each one of these, Caylee Anthony's mother is Caylee Anthony. And we know Sebastian Rogers' mother is Katie Proudfoot. So tonight what we're going to discuss are each mother and the similarities between the two, as both have had a child go missing. One we are still looking for, the other one has already been found. So Caylee Anthony was reported missing on July 15th, 2008. July 15th, 2008, on a Tuesday. 5 months later, 149 days later, she was discovered by a utility worker in the woods on 12/11/2008. Ladies and gentlemen, one half a mile from her home, where she and her mother lived with her grandparents. Deceased, discarded in a trash bag. Horrible, horrible. This beautiful young 3-year-old child. Sebastian Rogers has been missing since February 26, 2024. That is 178 days as of today. This Sunday completes exactly 6 months. 1 month longer than Caylee, and he has not been found. And we are still searching for Sebastian. I'm going to play you a clip now of my drive around the Caylee Anthony home, just to give you, as I do, lay of the land and how close she was found near her home. Here we go.
Okay, here's what we're going to show you this time. Here's what we're going to show you. We're on the street. There's the Anthony home right there. Case Anthony, George Anthony, Cindy Anthony.
Okay, so this was, I wanted to get by and do this drive-by yesterday. And I unfortunately wasn't able with work to make this happen. However, what you're seeing, this was filmed. Silvers was on the scene back in October of 2023. So this past October, less than a year ago. And at the time of Caylee's disappearance, I was living in Southern California and was unable to get to the area. And I was, much like I am with Sebastian, compelled to find this child and find answers, and doing all I could from afar. So when I had an opportunity to go by now, this was 16 years ago, I did so. And one of the reasons to get on the scene is because it changes your perspective. And the biggest thing that I'll note that here, and we've mentioned, is just how close Caylee was from her home. Let's watch.
Come out of that driveway and you start driving down this road that they live on, Hope Spring. They're at 4937 Hope Spring Drive. So you drive down this road, and I'm going to say 0.2 of a mile. It's already clicked 1/10. It's a nice neighborhood. A lot of cars, though. I don't know if these cars are visiting people or delivering or live here, but a lot of cars. We haven't even, okay, we just hit 0.2. So probably 3/10 of a mile we're about to see, which would be 1/3 of a mile. So from their house, we have now hit, we haven't hit it yet. Okay, 3/10 of a mile. From their driveway to the stop sign is 1/3 of a mile. Okay, you take a right here, and you see what we're.
So, not to spoil anything, but as soon as you take this right, and we're at 3/10 of a mile, you can see where allegedly, in my opinion, had you been there on the day, you would have seen Casey's car sitting right where this white fence ends. Less than 1/2 of a mile from the home.
In here, you see where it breaks open? So there's woods on this side, there's wood on this side. This is where Kaylee's body was found. I'm not even to 4/10 of a mile yet. Where do you think? Directly there?
No, end of the fence.
End of the fence.
It's somewhere probably before the light pole.
Okay, what is odd here is interesting is Silver's 2 and Silver's 1, myself, we did not know exactly where Caylee was at this point. But if you'll see here, there's actually a trash bag. And so for some reason, we stopped the car at this point, and it's directly where she was. So I'm going to show another clip as I get out of the car to show exactly where this beautiful girl was dropped, placed. Back that way, just 4/10, less than 1/2 of a mile, is the Anthony home. That road right there, you can see the sign. That road right there, I'll zoom in, is the road she lived on. You turn right and you come. As soon as this property line stops, these woods begin. And right here, you can see the memorial. This is where Caylee Anthony's body was dropped. Okay, so let me go back. I want to show this because this is important. So you can see the memorial here, where people have placed things, and 2008, I was there in 2023, so a solid 15 years. And it had grown up, stuff has grown up. But I think the point to note here is I'm going to give my theory of what happened, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So you come out of that Anthony home, you drive down that road as you saw I was doing. You come to the stop sign and you look both ways. You look to the left, more homes, no woods. You look to the right, there are those woods. And there's a section of woods where wooded on either side. It opens up to a school at the end. Knowing the flow of traffic, knowing no cars come by at certain times, you pull. And what's interesting here, folks, is this. As soon as you get past this home and their fence, the woods open. And there you have it. And Caylee was placed here. What I thought was odd is there were these trash bags here, and I don't know why those trash bags are there, but she was in a bag, much like these, and placed here, allegedly, in my opinion, by her mother. So what I believe happened is this. And I'll stop and say, I do realize and I'm aware Caylee Anthony was found not guilty by a jury of her peers. still doesn't change Silver's on the scene's opinion. And my opinion is my opinion. Allegedly, my thoughts. Do your own research. Figure out your own thoughts. But in my opinion, if we remember correctly, the mother and father, grandmother and father and grandfather of Caylee, Casey's parents were getting suspicious. There was a smell in the back of the car she had been driving, where I believe Caylee's body was already. And to give Casey any credit, if I will, would be carrying this body around, either forgotten that she was back there, or I don't want to separate from her, giving her any motherly credit. But I believe after they started pressuring, there was one particular day where her father, George, was like, hey, I don't look in the trunk. She pulls out, in my opinion, allegedly, I believe she pulls out of the home, drives that half a mile, 4/10 of a mile, stops when the woods start, and puts Caylee in this area. Goes on with her life. She is found 5 months later, 4 to 5 months later, depending on how long she was in the trunk, by a utility worker. And this area is low, and they said it Florida rains off and on, so that's why she probably wasn't found sooner. Okay, so that's my theory. So when we talk about, and you've heard in my videos when I say, where am I looking for Sebastian? And how am I getting, where am I getting my information? Like, where would I look? It all goes back to the mothers. I believe with the Caylee Anthony unfortunate death, her mother Casey, and how she placed her, allegedly in my opinion, less than a half a mile from the home, I see the same patterns, and we'll compare similarities here with Katie Proudfoot. So, the home, Hendersonville. If you go a half a mile, you're still in neighborhood. So you got to go a little further, right? But you go over to the retention pond, you go to the cemetery, you go to the high school, you go to Drake's Creek and Warsham's. All of these spots to me would be places, if, allegedly in my opinion, Katie was the one to move Sebastian. Okay? When I go to Horn Lake, I don't go far from the RV. This is why. She visited the RV. Therefore, I believe he could be very near the RV. Now, at this point, I have to make a point, as you may be thinking, the major differences between these two disappearances. Casey worked alone. In my opinion, there was no one helping her. Ever how she unalived, in my opinion, allegedly, this beautiful girl, she worked alone. Here, in my opinion, allegedly, I'm stating this, do your own research, there was someone helping. Someone, I believe, by the name of Christopher Proudfoot. There was no Christopher Proudfoot here, and there is here. So that could change things drastically. Because I believe if it was Katie moving Sebastian, he would be much closer. Chris could have moved him further, allegedly, in my opinion. And that causes our searching and our looking to be difficult. Very difficult. But we'll continue to do this, and we will find him. We'll bring him home. Now, so let's talk about the tale of the two mothers. Okay? I want to do this too real quick, just to give an idea. We did the drive-by of Kaylee's home, and this is the drive-by of Sebastian's home. Just to give reference, lay of the land.
I'm going to zoom in because they're there.
And as I said,
but I can see a normal antenna.
And as I said, when you go a half a mile from this home, he's not going to be anywhere there because there's so much around. But you have to go a little further, but you can go within a mile, and you can have places to where you could place him. However, as most of you know, my theory is this poor child has been placed somewhere in the Memphis area, specifically Horn Lake area, and we will continue to search and look. So let's compare the mothers, a tale of two mothers. Did you know that both, well, let's start here. Caylee Anthony was 22 years old when Caylee went missing. Caylee was 3 years old. Katie Proudfoot was 34 years old when Sebastian went missing, and he's 15 years old. Katie has since turned 35 during his disappearance of 6 months now. But if you take off the ages from 22, 3-year-old, and from 34, 15-year-old, both of these women were 15 years old. Excuse me. Correction, Silver, stop. 15 is Sebastian's age. Both of these women were 19 years old when they gave birth. Both of these women, 19. Both of these women have only had one child. Now, Sebastian's still missing. We hope he's out there alive somewhere. And Katie still has a child. But she has no other. And 16 years ago, Caylee was found, went missing and was found 5 months later. And in 16 years, Caylee was missing and found. And then Caylee has not had a child since. So both only one child. Now, to the children missing. Reporting them missing, 911. Neither mother wanted to call 911. Neither. What do I mean by that? Well, Caylee called 911 after the pressure of her mother. Actually, I take that back. Now my memory just, her mother called 911. And then Caylee got on the phone. So neither mother reported their child missing. We know Katie Proudfoot called her husband, stepdad Christopher Proudfoot, and then he made the phone call to the sheriff's department. So in this case, no one called 911. In the case of beautiful Caylee, her grandmother called 911 to report her missing, and then the mother was made to get on the phone. I find this very interesting, folks. Neither searched. Katie hasn't searched. Caylee didn't search. Neither yelled out for help. Where's my child? Someone help me. Katie didn't appear on TV for 8 days. No screaming to the neighbors, no knocking down doors, none of this. Where's Sebastian? Where's my child? Caylee, same thing. As if nothing was going on. The child had already been missing technically for a month. And she was just living her life. Lies? Oh, the lies. Allegedly, in my opinion, right? Allegedly. Hey, Katie Proudfoot, if you're listening, if what we say are lies, then come and sit with Silvers on the scene and tell me the truth. I want to be wrong. I want your son alive. But so far, all we've seen are silence and what appears to be lies. We know Caylee was lying. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest thing, and this really breaks my heart because I don't understand it, is both moved on with their lives. 2 beautiful children here, 15, 3. Both have moved on with their lives. We know Caylee didn't report till after a month, got a tattoo, out enjoying herself, social scenes. Katie goes to the RV 3 weeks in, takes a 2-week vacation, doesn't do any searching. I've seen her in her driveway going out to eat, going on with their life, not asking for help find my son. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. So, both 19 when they had their children, one decided, allegedly in my opinion, one decided at age 3, this beautiful child, it's time for me to make a change in my life, and she's not part of it. And allegedly in my opinion, the other one waited 12 years longer and made the same decision. And now we have Sebastian missing. And Sebastian's been missing, as we know, 178 days. He is now 29 days longer than when Caylee was found. 5 months for her, and he's at 6 months now. So I just cannot ignore these similarities. As I said, I was in Orlando, and I'm thinking how close I was to the home. I didn't get a chance to go by. But we know the story and how it ended, unfortunately, for beautiful little Caylee. Started right here in this home. Allegedly, in my opinion, I believe mother wanted to enjoy her social scene more, and Caylee was in the way of that. You ask the question, why not let her grandparents have her? Go on with your life and let her go on with hers. She would be 19 years old if she was still with us. And then we have Sebastian. You can see the missing sign. We have Sebastian's home, and he's not been there, folks, for 6 months. 6 months missing from this house. Where is he? So, I think you learn from history. You look at patterns, and there's a lot of similarities between these two mothers. There's a 12-year difference, age 22 on one, age 34 on the other. But it appears to me that, allegedly in my opinion, Sebastian has suffered the same fate. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm, as they say, dead wrong, unalive wrong. Unfortunately, I don't think I am. So, we will continue looking for Sebastian. As I said, I was in Orlando. I was thinking about the Casey. You know, when I take my first, the Caylee Anthony unfortunate situation, and when I take my first walk through Horn Lake, I talked about how I believe this boy is nearby. This is why we've looked in the abandoned house across the street. That puts it right there, folks. There's a spot around the corner I want to check. But we'll leave that for another video. I just want to compare these two moms and how we know the end of one story. And unfortunately, I think the other one's going to be the same. So that's it for the video today. Remember, rest in peace, Caylee Anthony. Beautiful child. And where is Sebastian Rogers? Missing 178 days, 6 months now. Keep the awareness alive. I was on the phone with a friend this afternoon. She lives in Texas. And she was unaware of Sebastian Rogers missing. And Dallas, Texas is a long way from Hendersonville, Tennessee. But I made this statement to her. If you were standing beside him in a convenience store, you wouldn't know it because you were not aware he was missing. Now she's aware simply by us talking about it. And that's how quickly it can spread, folks. So if you have a friend in another state, family member, someone, share the information. Doesn't have to be my video. Doesn't have to be Silvers on the Scene video. Just has to be this flyer. Just has to be a post on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, social media, an email, a text. Because if he is still alive, we need to bring him home and get him back home. Someone needs to find him. And if he's unalive, well, we're still searching and we're looking. We have many more spots to cover as we get closer to finding Sebastian Rogers. So that's it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all your kind comments. I've got my travels over for the current time, so I should be able to get on here more and discuss more about Sebastian Rogers and what we're doing to find him and locate him. And as always, stay tuned. There's more to come. We'll have a video coming out tomorrow that's going to discuss a different type of mother. A similar scenario, yet a different type of mom. So stay tuned. More to come of that. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support. Really means a lot to me. Have a safe, fun, happy evening. Guess what? It's Thursday too. Thursday evening. So one more day and the weekend will be here. So enjoy yourself. Be fun. Have fun. Be safe. Always be at peace. Thank you. Have a great evening. Remember, keep the awareness alive. Find them and get justice. Good night.